Hey nerdy knitter, you might be tempted to put those knitting needles away for a while now that the weather's getting warmer, but this is the perfect time to pull them back out and cast on a great sweater or top that's perfect for this transitional spring weather. We're going to look at 12 patterns today that are perfect for this time of year. Some of them are very simple and for beginners, some include a bit of lace, and there's even some color work as well. But before we look at those patterns, I just want to say, hey, I'm Tanya here at Nerdy Knitting. I'm a certified knitting instructor and a knitwear designer, and my goal is to help you become a more confident, adventurous knitter. I went to Lovecrafts and sifted through the many great patterns on there and chose some of my favorites, and that's what we're going to look at today. I've got my laptop right here so we can take a look at these designs and chat about them, and maybe you'll find one that you'll want to knit this spring. Now the first pattern on this list is the Easy Eyelet Yoke by Chantal of Knitatude. Now her patterns are lovely and modern, but usually very simple and easy to knit, and this one's no exception. It's perfect for beginners. Now this is a basic circular yoke sweater that's knit from the top down. It uses yarn overs for the yoke increases. It has short sleeves and a lightweight yarn, so it's perfect for the season. And those yarn overs provide some decoration, but also they're functional as well to create the yoke shape. Now this one uses sport weight yarn, comes in 6 sizes, suitable for an advanced beginner, somebody who feels like they're ready to tackle their first sweater. It's perfect for that because as you're knitting, you can stop, put it on waste yarn, and try it on as you go to make sure it's fitting you well. Then there's the Sand and Ocean Cardigan by Twin Stitches Design, and this is one of those great designs when you just want something light and easy that you can throw over a dress or a t-shirt or something else when it's a bit chilly and you just want another light layer. This is perfect for that. Now it's really simply knit. It's an open front with no button band, so there's no stitches to pick up, no buttons to add. It's also worked top down, but it's knit flat and you're working back and forth in rows. And it has some simple stripes, and it uses basic raglan style increases at 4 points for the body and shoulder shaping. So it's very easy to customize the length of the body and the sleeves as you knit and to try it on. So this one would be suitable for an advanced beginner as well who's ready to knit their first cardigan because it's very simple shape, nothing to pick up for button bands or anything like that. Uses a DK weight yarn, 9 sizes, and perfect for beginners. Those 2 knitting patterns are my top picks for beginners. They're simple, they're basic, you can try them on as you go. There's nothing too fussy or fancy about them. The rest of the patterns that we're going to talk about have things that are a little more advanced, certainly doable by an adventurous beginner, but if you want something super simple, those are the 2 that I would focus on. If you're looking for more really simple ideas, I do have a video that is just really basic, simple tops, but we'll talk about that one in a little bit. Then we have Jessie's Girl by Elizabeth Smith. Sometimes you want something that's just easy to knit, simple basic garter stitch, maybe something with a little bit of interest in stylish shaping, and that would be this one. Now this one's worked in one piece in the round from the bottom up, and it's just in garter stitch. Now the back is slightly longer to give it that more drapey feel, and it uses short rows to create that. But then after the body's complete, you separate the front and the back and you finish them separately by working flat. Then you join the shoulders with the 3 needle bind off. So nothing too complicated, but there are some short rows here. Sport weight yarn, 6 sizes, and it's suitable for an advanced beginner, somebody who's ready to try out short rows. Then there's the Elva tee. Now sometimes simple is what you want, and that's what this tee provides. It has short cap sleeves. It's knit from the top down. Now it features a beginner-friendly lace motif on the sleeves, and then the body's knit in stockinette stitch in the round. There are short rows. They're used to lengthen the back neckline, and there's increases in the body to create that almost A-line silhouette. The hem and the sleeves are finished with garter stitch, and then there's an I-cord edge that's used for the neckline. And the designer recommends bamboo, linen, silk, hemp, or cotton blend, something that's really great for a summertime top. This one's knit in a light fingering weight yarn, comes in 9 sizes, and is probably doable by an advanced beginner who wants to tackle some lace and some short rows. Then there's Edie by Isabell Kraemer. Isabell Kraemer's designs are always lovely. They're usually very simple and sleek and modern looking, but with nice lovely touches as well to really make them refined. Now this tee is very simple and would really showcase a lovely yarn. She used a linen yarn for this pattern. Now it's worked from the top down with raglan increases to shape the body and the sleeves. You begin by working back and forth, flat knitting for the V-neck shaping. And then when that's done, you join the tee and work in the round. And the pattern even includes some textured stripes, and she's done this on purpose. This will help keep the body from twisting because linen yarn worked in a seamless method, it can have a tendency to bias. So she includes those textured stripes to minimize that. And there are some short rows used to give the bottom a more casual rounded finish. The sleeve stitches are picked up and worked in the round, and then there are a few options for finishing the neckline. You can leave it unfinished like she did in her sample, or use the optional finishing instructions. This one uses fingering weight yarn, comes in 7 sizes, and would be for an advanced beginner to intermediate knitter. Then there's the Everyday Tee from Twin Stitch Designs. I really love these tees and tops because they're great to wear with shorts or pants or over a dress or with a skirt, and this one's no exception. This one uses a top-down circular yoke construction, and it has a delicate but really simple lace design around the yoke. And then when you finish the yoke, you separate the sleeves from the body, and you finish them each separately, and they're done in stockinette stitch with a bit of rib at the hem and the sleeves. It would be very easy to adjust the length of the body and sleeves, and you can try this on as you go to make sure it's fitting properly. It's knit in a light fingering weight yarn, comes in 9 sizes, would be suitable for a beginner to advanced beginner, somebody who's ready to tackle their first sweater. Then there's Tegna by Caitlin Hunter, and I just love the drape and the flow of this pattern. It's a lovely design with some simple lace. It's a crop design, so it would look great over a dress or with a tunic top, but if you don't like a crop design, it would be very easy to lengthen it as well. Now this one is knit in the round from the bottom up with a pretty slightly flared lace hem. And when you get to the armholes, the front and the back are divided so you can work them separately, working them flat. Then when they're finished, you do some shoulder shaping and you finish with a 3-needle bind off to join them front and back. Uses fingering weight yarn, comes in 7 sizes, and would be suitable for a more advanced beginner to intermediate knitter. Then there's Bar Harbor by Alicia Plummer, and honestly I chose this one because of the name. I grew up in Maine and had visited Bar Harbor many times. It's a beautiful coastal place to visit. Now this one's knit top down with linen yarn, which is perfect for summer garments. It has that raglan style. You have increases worked at 4 points to create the body and sleeve shaping. Then you separate for the body, and the body's worked in 4 pieces. You have those 2 striped sections at the sides, and then the front and back. Then those pieces are all seamed together and you finish with the hem before going back and finishing the sleeves. So really interesting construction going on here to get those stripes along the sides. Now it uses an Aran weight yarn, comes in 8 sizes, and because of that unique construction, I would say it's more of an intermediate knitting pattern. Then there's the Honeybee cardigan by Laura Chau, this adorable lacy cropped cardigan. These are great to wear over summer dresses or with tunics and leggings or whenever you need something to ward off that bit of a chill in the transition weather. This one has a really fun and pretty stitch pattern. It's knit seamlessly from the bottom up, integrating those 3/4 length set-in sleeves without the need for seaming, and there's 2 length options. If you don't like that cropped look, there is a standard length as well. This uses fingering weight yarn, comes in 8 sizes. I would class this probably for an intermediate knitter. Now we have a few more designs that focus on some color work elements, but before we look at those, do you mind giving this video a thumbs up so it will reach more people? I'd really appreciate it. First in this colorwork section is Tranquilo by Twin Stitches Designs. Now if you're looking to explore colorwork and it's new to you, then this could be a good choice. Now this is a top-down circular yoke construction, which is pretty standard and classic with a stranded colorwork design. It does use some short rows for the neckline shaping, but the color work is very simple. It's just 2 colors, and they're only worked along the yoke of the sweater itself. The body and sleeves are worked in 1 color in stockinette, finished with a bit of ribbing along the sleeves and the hem. And it would be easy to adjust the length in the sleeves of the body as well, and you could try it on as you go to make sure it's fitting the way you want. This uses fingering weight yarn, comes in 9 sizes, and is suitable for an advanced beginner to intermediate knitter, somebody who's ready to try out stranded color work. Then there's Navelli by Caitlin Hunter, and this one includes some color work, but the shape is really fun and interesting and easy to wear, and it would be easy to lengthen if you don't like that cropped style. Now this one has more relaxed fit, it's lightweight, it's knit in the round from the bottom up, and it features color work along the bottom of the hem. After you finish that section of color work, you switch to stockinette in 1 color, then you're working in the round to the armholes, and then when you get to the armholes, you separate and work the front and the back separately. There are some short rows used for the shoulder shaping. And then we've got that boat neck with a basic rib pattern, and then there's a 3-needle bind off to join the shoulders. And the sleeves are folded with a bit of contrast color for interest and for some additional structure. This one uses fingering weight yarn, comes in 12 sizes, and would be suitable for an advanced beginner to intermediate knitter who wants to tackle some more stranded color work. Then there's Holly by Marie Wallin. Now, Marie Wallin's beautiful stranded colorwork designs are just always so stunning and spectacular, and this one is no different. Her patterns I think of like the life goals for knitters, like when you feel like you can tackle one of her beautiful patterns. They're just so lovely, and I have more than one on my list. Now this one, what's interesting about it is that it's knit flat, which isn't usual for stranded colorwork. Now those front and back pieces are knit separately and the sleeves are integrated as you go. So it's just the two basic pieces, and then when they're finished, you just sew them up together and you finish the sleeves and the neckline. It's semi-fitted, intended to be worn as a layering piece, so it's great for transition weather. And her inspiration for this was some floral patterning found in antique Eastern European textiles. I just think it's absolutely lovely and would be stunning if you're ready to tackle knitting stranded colorwork flat. This uses fingering weight yarn, comes in 5 sizes, and because of this flat knitting and stranded colorwork, I would say this is for more advanced or very adventurous knitters. Now, these are the patterns I found and thought were worth sharing, and I'm sure you've got some great recommendations for spring or transition weather tops as well, and I'd love to hear about them. So please leave me a comment. Tell me about those patterns that you love to knit for this transition weather. Now, do you remember earlier when I mentioned that video about tops for beginner knitters? That's this video right here. It's filled with tops that are perfect for beginner knitters to knit and wear for spring and summer. So click right there and I'll see you in the next video.